Footsteps meet on hardwood floors, laughter spilling from the doors. Different tongues but hearts the same, learning life beyond the name. At the International English Cafe, talk your troubles right away, sip your tea and stories play. At the International English Cafe.
Click on that. And hi, welcome to the call, everybody. I am your host, Tan. It is Friday night in the Western Hemisphere, Saturday morning in the Eastern Hemisphere. So for this International English Cafe call, today's topic is compare and contrast. We're going to go over an essay format, compare and contrast. In this case, what we'll do is we'll utilize this format more for in a sense, a verbal essay that I'll have you guys do. So I'll go through the overview of what a compare contrast format is. And then from there, I'll have a list of things for the members to compare and contrast, and or if the members have something that they have in mind that they would like to compare and contrast, they could use that instead. So with that, compare and contrast. Let's share screen. Click on this. Share screen number 1. Bam. Okay, so hopefully by doing that, it should share the screen and also have everybody's or most of everybody's faces. So here's my meeting notification. So various types of essays. We actually went through one before chronological order. So in this case, I basically pulled up Google to just go over what compare and contrast format is. So the introduction, like most essays, right? For your body paragraph, you're going through the points in terms of trying to compare and to contrast I guess, the two different subjects involved, right? And then from there, you come up with a conclusion. So sometimes compare and contrast could just be 4 paragraphs, right? 1 for the introductions, 2 body paragraph to compare and contrast the 2 points, and then a conclusion statement. Sometimes if it entails a little bit more depth, then you can add more paragraphs for the body paragraph. But that's for the most part what the format of a compare contrast is. The interesting part is when you get to the body paragraph, when you start talking more in depth of the 2 points, when comparing the similarities and or differences of those 2 subjects. So hopefully this is something that people would have gone through or have learned in school. If anything, does anybody have any questions so far?
No. I don't have any kind of question regarding this.
Yep, ask away.
By the way, if I will have any questions, I will have any questions I will ask.
Oh, okay, got it.
So far, I understood it. It's like a body paragraph, you can say. Step by step, you have to write it down. Right?
Yep. Okay, so sounds good. So let's get to more of the fun part, which is let's have a whole set of things to consider. And from there, have you guys pick and choose what you guys want for to talk about in terms of comparing and contrasting. So there's, I think this was formatted not so well. Let's So it's divided up into like various sections. You have political, social, political issues, technology, lifestyle, culture, education, history, entertainment, media. Ooh. Oh, okay, got it. It's because I had the insert. Periods, World War, specific, streaming, fiction, Marvel. Okay, things like that. Um, so from at least this list of things, for comparing, contrasting, um, or like if you have something that you have in mind, would anybody like to start um, picking one of this stuff and comparing, contrasting?
I think we can all relate to school, public school versus private school, maybe.
Yeah, this might take a little bit of time
Yes,
to
of course.
think. So, oh, go ahead.
The sound is good. Public school versus private school. That's good.
Repeat that again.
I couldn't hear.
Private school versus public school.
Okay. Would you like to talk about that?
Oh yes, from my side, this one. I don't know
Yep.
about the rest of other members.
Yep. You can go ahead and start off. So, I'll start off with going through like an example, right? And then from there you can have an idea of what we're doing. Plus, this may give you more time to think about because um, I'm kind of springing this on you guys. Um,
And one more point I would like to say here. And
yes,
the last point I'm seeing here, entertainment and media.
yes.
Entertainment and media.
Can you see?
Fiction versus non-fiction. That's also good. Summer holidays versus winter holidays. That is also good. Dog versus cat as a pets. Also good. Marriage versus single life. It's also good. So from my side, each and every one is good. Each and
Yeah,
every topic.
yeah. So this is just a matter of like just picking a topic and going with it. So for example, let's say like if I was to start first, right? I would go off with saying ebooks or electronic books versus printed books. So um starting off like for me, I have a preference for printed books. I like the physical copy of things. Uh if you let's see, where's my doohickey? Video. Where's my, nope. Um, adjust my background effects to none. And if you kind of look behind me, right, there's a mess of stuff, but this is my bookcase. This is just only some of the books. I have a lot more books. I like to actually have the physical copy. There's just something about the smell of a book that uh, um, feels very pleasant to me for some reason. Plus, like the feel of having an actual book in my hand. Um, so for me, I prefer to actually have um, a physical book. But um, if we were to compare and contrast an ebook versus a printed book, there are pros and cons to either one, right? So when we go into depth for both of them, right? Let's start off with ebooks. Now, ebooks are very convenient because instead of having to lug around a whole bunch of books to be able to read, you can just have a device like a phone or smartphone, particularly, right? Or a tablet to be able to read an ebook, right? Or whatever other device that there is you can use. You could basically have a library of books within the palm of your hands. So there's the convenient aspect of an ebook. It's much more lighter in respect to some books out there because some books can be very heavy. But for the most part, there's this idea of convenience that you can get from an ebook. Some of the downside of an ebook, though, is that because of the lighting effect, especially blue light, that could cause like issues with your eyesight in the long run. But so long as like you have a particular tablet that um, helps make it easier for your eyes and or the amount of time that you focus on reading from an ebook, maybe that might not be an issue for your eyesight, but it is something to consider. Now, when you compare that to a physical book, right? The printed book. Now, like I said, there's this feeling that you can get from a printed book because there's the smell of it, right? There's the feel and touch of it that like it's in your hands. So sometimes just that nicety of having something that's in your hands that you can actually see and engage with makes it um, a lot or makes it feel better when you're actually reading whatever the contents may be, whether it's a story or it could be something that's in the realms of nonfiction. Um, the downside of it is, like mentioned before, it's a little bit on the heavier side, so it could cause like certain strain to you physically. In terms of when you sit a particular way, your posture may start to crouch a little bit. You might find a little bit heavier on your hands. Um, so it may be things like that that could lead to issues or particular issues to your health. Um, but nonetheless, it's so long as you're aware of how your posture is, how you're sitting, how you're lying down, or just your overall position while you're reading a printed version of the book, then um, it should be fine. So in conclusion, when you um, look at the differences between an ebook and a printed book, there are pros and cons to both. So this is just a matter of preference of what you like. For me, my preference is printed books. But you know, there are benefits to an ebook if that's something of your fancy. And there you go, right? So this is kind of like you're doing an essay, except verbal form. Like said in my previous meetings, I like for some of the talks to be where you're kind of presenting things like a speech, because that's a little bit more of a challenge than just to say things in like a 1 or 2 sentence answer. Does everybody kind of have a feel for you know, how to kind of approach this type of hot topic? So just, you know, basically picking and choosing something to compare and contrast and just kind of talking about it.
Okay, I would like to talk about something here.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
am in the side of technology, and there is something that I am using recently. I am a programmer too. I am programming something for random the customers. But I learned how to programming with lines and lines of code. And at the end of the day, I finish very tired. You have to stay a lot of time in front of your computer. And that's why I choose the topic of artificial intelligence and human intelligence. We learn in the different way. In my case, I am 56 years old. So I learn coding, reading and reading and reading. But it's something like spend more time doing some things, and maybe they are repetitive or you are in a loop. It's something from the coding. But recently, I discovered a big help with the artificial intelligence. And it's because it's created for the human being. At the end, we are in charge of that. We are to create intelligence artificial, but the artificial intelligence, sorry. But sometimes people, I have heard so many bad things about this topic, and the people think that they will lose their jobs because of the robots or because this intelligence, something like that. But I can hear that for at least 20 years ago. So as I told you at the beginning, I started using the artificial intelligence, and I know of course, there is a big contrast between that. But they are using all the knowledge on a specific topic around the world and create different patterns and discover how is your behavior, how is your patterns, what do you need, what do you doing, and they try to help you in your work. So to compare these things, I can say the artificial intelligence is a new tool for the human beings. It's not versus, it's not, you can use your own intelligence, of course, in my case, to create something, but I can ask for the AI to create something easier or to create something in few words. For example, I am working in a coding for a customer, and they have the most complete coding that I have is like 20 pages. And I realize I am reading the same thing and the same thing. So I think maybe there is a way to create something. Excuse me, there is a plane flying through my home because I am on the approximation line of the airport. Sorry. Okay. And has passed. Well, the thing is, I asked to the AI to create a code to minimize my 20 pages, to reduce the size of my 20 pages. And he created an incredible code in half on a page and do the same thing. When I prove the two programs and they are doing the same. What is the difference? I am learning different way. And the artificial intelligence have the tools nowadays to create my old code in a best code. Easier to understand, and they give me the opportunity to create more. So I trust many, this complete project was created with the help. But you have to think in something. You have to create a good prompt. You have to say to the AI, what do you want? What do you need? So if you don't have the, let's say, the skills to programming, you don't have to say anything. To create me for example, you say, create a program to do this, to do that. But why? Why do you need? What more? So you have to know how to use your skills to create something. It's like ask for a recipe for a fish or for a food that you like. For example, could be fish, meat, something that you like. It's the same thing. So to compare in these two parts, AI can work for us. It's the third hand that you don't have. It's another part of your brain. it's not created a competition against you and the human and the intelligence artificial. At the end, they are created for the human beings. And some people are very react to try in this particular theme, this particular subject about the AI. But I did it, and it's working in this moment for me. It's a good experience, and I learn a lot. I learn some things that I don't have because the AI have the power to go deep in all the knowledge that is created in the websites and things like that. And maybe you don't have the time to search where is the best way to do these things, but the AI have this power to connect. So we have a good relationship in this moment with the AI, I have to say. I have to say that I learned that my human intelligence never will be compared to the AI because I have the other thing that AI doesn't have is common sense. The human beings will have the common sense. The AI not. The AI not for them is yes or not. For a human being is could be. If I do this, so this common sense, this the way that we are humans, because we can the skills, the ability to contrast, to compare, to create different things. I have stuck with the AI in different things, and then the next morning I ask in a different way. Hey, maybe you try this and this works. So at the end, you are in charge of that. Is to compare, let's say, is the next part of your brain. As I told you at the beginning, is the third. You have a half of the brain for create something. So you have two skills to us. Tom. To finish, I would say it's a very interesting tool. I hope you guys one of these days try to use it. At the end, you are in charge. You call the shots. Thank you very much.
Nice. Thank you very much. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay, one
You know, I would like to interject, simply say a few words. And I want it to be a few. Oswaldo, I understood 85% of what you said. And I go back to the basics. I'm hoping, because of my voice and talking slowly, you all understand me. Maybe you don't, but I want to know. We need to pronounce all the words correctly. And you did, but it might have been the voice, the elevation of the voice that sometimes I did not hear because of the internet. Maybe you get AI to help you figure out a program. Let's jump to AI. I'm fascinated when I read a 14-year-old boy is a multi-millionaire in dollars because of programming, or what's the right word? Coding, maybe. AI. I'm blown away. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. But if I was young and I had to start over, my hobby would be to code and learn everything about it, because making, from my point of view, by making one program, you're a millionaire. But many people have many things to do. That's more important. I'm going to wrap this up. Speak slowly loud and pronounce the words correctly when we communicate. You will be a more effective speaker, and you get your message across. Again, good job, Oswaldo. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
That's a really great sound. So
That's how I teach at the
it was a
university.
correct pronunciation, slow speaking. Yes, of course. I quite happy with this speech. The way he explained each and everything, it was really marvelous. It was just scintillating, captivating, such an amazing, mind-blowing speech.
Slow.
It was a short
I don't
speech,
understand.
but effective.
Slow.
Yes,
I don't understand.
it was short, but was an effective, mind-blowing speech given by you. That's amazing. Yes.
Don't
pronunciation-
forget I'm a handsome professor who's trying to share information. People always forget that.
Yes, of course. That's amazing. Okay, so if I start talking about public sector and private sector in India, then you can say it's really a big changes we can see. You know how? Right now I'm just sitting inside the road. Maybe some noise from there, you guys. Okay. So public sector, what we see there? In a public sector, we can see the people, they go there, okay, but they don't value the public sector. They don't too much respect, you can say. If you talk about the train, if you talk about the hospital, if you talk about the education hubs, so there is, you can say everything is good, but people, they don't value such things. If you see in the private sector, people, they get benefit, and people value a lot such fields. As for example, I want to give you a patient is suffering from some problem, some disease, you can say. The patient went to the hospital, the government hospital, the public sector. Okay, the patient will stay on the bed. There is no nurse, no doctor on time. The same patient, went to the private sector. The patient is being taken care by nurse, by doctors, time to time. Yes, of course. And instead of taking care, they pay huge money. Huge money in the sense of as like they charge for 2 days, for 3 days, for 1 hour, for 2 hours. It's something like. So we can see a big changes in the public sector, in the private sector, even in the education field. We can see it. It's a big change. If you visit the capital of India, you can see there are big changes. If you visit some state, you can see there are big changes. But if you visit some states, some urban areas in India, you can see a huge changes. Public sector and private sector, both you can see. That's why, maximum things are going to privatize. Because the people, they don't utilize such things. People have to understand we are, providing some facilities, so we have to pay. When what we see in the public sector, the schools, they're not cleaned by the maid servant. It's a pathetic. The students, they clean such places. In private sector, what we see there is a maid servant especially for that. She comes on time, clean everything. Okay. She puts systematically everything, and when her duty off, she went from there. But in the public sector, we cannot see such things. We cannot such things. And to be honest with you, now in India, it's going about the midday meal. Midday meal provides so maximum student. They don't run after the quality of education. They are not excited having their educations. They're very excited having the midday meal. And during lockdown, if I talk about COVID-19, some of the students, I especially ask them, what are you missing, guys, in your school? They smile and they replied, midday meal. Again, I asked, what about your education? What about your education? No, we guys are missing midday meal. So you can say it's really a matter of sorrow, you can say. And one kind of students, those belong to the private sector, I ask them what you guys are missing about the educations. So that's what I'm going to tell. It's a big changes between the public sector and the private sector over here. You can say it's a sky deep difference. And if you just go the grassroots, you find so many differences. I told you the normal differences. The mindset of the people is quite different. In the public sector, maximum people, they wanna hire for the public sector employee. Yes, because after their retirement, they will be paid, they will be given pension, use amount of money, something like. And private sector, what happens? Like they feel bound to work hour and hour, salary is very low. After retirement, there is no pension. So something you can say, and the mindset of the people is something. So yes, I mean to say that I have been speaking these topics for the long time, and what I especially see here in this meeting, like the host of this meeting, I am quite happy that he conducted such meetings. Even I'm a language trainer. I have been training for the last couple of years, and I have trained more than 500 students. Okay, I'm a language trainer. So the thing that fascinated me here, like one person is from USA, Joy Fee. So as he suggested, your pronunciations, speaking slowly. So that's you can say the golden suggestions given us. And the host, the way he started, the way he's handling, it's really fantabulous, we can say. It's amazing the way he handling and the way he conducted. So I really appreciate each and everyone here, and especially the host and a person he's from USA. His name is Joy Fee. It was a short speech but effective speech. I felt like there was something in the speech. So thank you very much.
Very interesting. So, the differences between the public sector and the private sector, like that's actually not really something I didn't not something that I think about, but I can see that you kind of like looked at the public versus private school topic, but then you extend it even further. So that's very nice. Nice idea.
Thank you very much. It could be possible because of your support. Without your support was not an easy. So
Yeah,
thank you very much from the bottom of heart.
thank you. Okay. So we got a whole bunch of more people jump in. So hi, so welcome to the call. So let's see. Colis jumped in and out and jumped in and out and jumped in again. There's Git, I think, and then there's Sakib and Fazle. So welcome everybody. I typed into the chat box what today's topic is. It's compare and contrast. So essentially, we have a list of topics or things that you can compare and contrast, and the objective is to pick one and just start talking about it to compare and contrast. Think of it as kind of like performing a verbal essay. So, like I like the whole speech format type of thing. This might take you a little bit of time to think about. So if you need a little bit of time to think about, that's okay. For everybody else that's been on the call, would anybody else like to go next?
Yes, Dan, I'd like to try.
Okay, give it a try, Abigail.
So I selected the topic memorizing facts versus learning skills. I think that it is based on the Bloom's taxonomy. There are 6 levels of learning skills. The bottom 3 are the least effective, and the upper 3 are the most effective. So memorizing facts is just like trying to recite the information and downloading them into your brain without analyzing them, without interacting with the information. While learning skills, I think of them as using a bunch of techniques and methods, like drawing a mind map between concepts, between points, or maybe writing a 5-paragraph essay to explain your argument. And I think that when it comes to the effectiveness, when it comes to testing, I think that the students who use other learning skills apart from memorizing facts will do better in a test, because oftentimes we see some open-ended questions, some questions that require you to come up with some innovative and creative solutions to specific problems, because they have understood the information inside out and they have their own thoughts and ideas regarding the topic, so they can actually answer to the questions. And for students who just plainly memorize the facts, they can only answer the questions that target the information that they memorize, that require them to just retrieve the information. And yeah, I think that's all I have to talk about. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Cool. Thank you.
As a professor of education, and I help with English, I was very impressed with the speed that you spoke with. Perfect. The pronunciation of every word, clear, loud. You're not in a race. Very impressed as a speaker. As for your ideas, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. In other words, you just now communicated with other people, and it was perfect. And that's the objective. Communicate with other people. And people don't realize, going on, that their accent hurts them sometimes because they're not pronouncing the words correctly. But you did excellent, Abigail. Enough said. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So for those that had just joined, this is kind of the gist of what we're doing. Would anybody like to go next now? Like, since you at least have an example. Yep, go
Dan, I don't mean to interrupt. But you said gist. As a professor, I would say gist. You're right. And gist means these are the ideas. This is the topic that we're trying to share with you. Gist. That's what I would have done. But again, everybody's different.
Sounds
because
good.
I know they don't know that word.
But other than that, hi Nazmul, welcome to the call. Today's topic is compare and contrast. So I have a list of things in which just pick one and start talking about it in terms of comparing and contrasting the two things. You can also choose to pick 2 different things to compare and contrast that's not on the list, and that's fine too. The object is to, in a sense, perform a verbal essay. So you're kind of like speaking in a speech, right? So
Okay,
you
sir.
have introduction paragraph, you have your body, and you have your conclusion.
Okay, so thank you for giving me some to say something on this platform.
Yep.
There are many topics here, but I want to show a thing that's the technology,
Okay.
including it. One topic is the artificial intelligence versus human intelligence.
Sounds good.
It's a good topic today, but first of all, I think to define what's the artificial intelligence and then human intelligence. Artificial intelligence comes from the human intelligence. That means it's the mimic term, I think. Man can do anything. As scientists are trying to this thing, what's the doing itself. Artificial means the machine can do everything as a mimic of human intelligence. So I think in the main sense, artificial intelligence and human intelligence has no difference, but human intelligence means man can do everything. Artificial intelligence means machine can do everything. This is the gap, but the task is same. Same thing can be done by human and same thing can done by machine. So I think in a sense, twice are same, but activities can be done by differently. One machine and second is the human intelligence. I think so. Thank you very much.
Okay. Sounds good. That's a kind of a different approach to the topic. We did have Oswaldo speaking to this earlier, but you provided at least a different perspective to the idea of artificial intelligence versus human intelligence. Nice.
Well, could I share?
Yep, Matt, go ahead. Like, did you have like a particular thing, or did you want to expand?
Oh, okay. Thank you. Could, I would like to reconfirm again. Could you hear me well?
Yep, I can hear you well.
I can,
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Joel.
I can hear you, but not loud.
Okay. I'll try my best now.
Thank you.
Okay. The point I would like to share that I talk about is smartphones, which traditional cell phones. Well, my point of view that I think modern life and modern society, I think is have been developed in the long time ago, and I love technology. I love smartphones so much because I feel that very comfortable for my life and others as well. And traditional one that I think is gradually removing in my country because not much people they use traditional cell phones. Almost they are changing to smartphones because I think it's have pros and cons. It is. And look like it's helping me a lot when I use smartphones because I can work, anywhere, any country, anytime. I can check my email. I can work online my customer. Yeah, that I think the strong boy nowadays about the technology developing. And I can tell you that in my family, my mother-in-law, sometimes I think it's funny for me because she doesn't know how she can use smartphones. She just use a traditional cell phone, but she have to pay a lot of money when she call to someone. But I guide her how to use smartphone to save her money. But actually, she still use a traditional cell phone because she feedback me. She doesn't know how to use smartphones. And look like we have we call OTT, right? OTT is kind of similar with WhatsApp. In Vietnam, we have Yellow, and we call to someone. It's free completely, and we can save a lot of money, and we can
Okay.
chat. We
I'm
can
coming down.
write email. We can call, and we can make everything happen after that. I think it's convenient for my life and other as well. And sometimes I go to my mother-in-law home, and I see her use traditional cell phones. It's funny for me, but why say that I can accept he can use and he can do what he wants to do. So that my story, because depends their choice and my choice as well. So we could not ask someone become our idea. Yeah, that my point of view. Thank you very much.
Alrighty.
I'd like to respond.
Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be funny. Excellent job, Matt. I don't know how long cell phones have been around. 10 years, 20 years, I don't know. But I've never owned a cell phone. I have a laptop. And I've achieved so much. We can argue all day, compare and contrast cell phones. Do you need it or you don't? But not having one and using my laptop, I'm not ashamed to share. I've done well financially. I'm involved with the stock market in the United States, and I've done unbelievable. Now, I ask you, has nothing to do with it, maybe. Are you making money with your cell phone? Thank you. I have to go.
Thank you, Joe.
I'll be back.
Sounds good, Joe. So my take on this for Matt, I like your approach to how you went about your speech, right? One of the elements that you incorporated for your speech is a little bit of storytelling, right? So you included, like, it's a little bit personal, but like you talked about certain situations, right? And then went into a story to kind of provide a little bit of an idea, right? To compare and contrast. So I found that to be kind of interesting. That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Matt, I apologize. Tan,
Go ahead.
one of the things I do as a professor of education, I tell short stories. People tend to remember them more than just words. Put it in a story and make them realize, well, I have a cell phone. I'm spending money every month on load, and I'm not making any money. I have to go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sounds good. So you can start to see, right, like when it comes to how you approach your speech and or verbal essay, right? Or just an essay in this or in any respect, right? Like what do you put in the body paragraph? So you can talk about facts and figures. You can talk about certain things where, in a sense, you're kind of like stating the obvious, right? But notice that, like in this case, you like one thing that you went about with this is a little bit of storytelling. So, see, so like we can start to get a flavor of how everybody have done their speeches, right? And the different approaches of how everybody went through, right? So there's no necessarily right way, so long as you're able to drive your point. And we can start to see the different elements that you can incorporate. So this is some of the things that I like that you guys are all doing, right? You guys have your own way about going about things, and as we keep on progressing, continuing to join a lot more of these meetings, interacting with each other, you can start to take some ideas off of each other, right? Like certain things that are good, certain things that you maybe like you would like to improve upon, things like that. So as you continue with the meetings and hopefully if you don't mind this format of how I do my meetings where you guys kind of speak in like a speech format, um, you know, I will always welcome you guys to join. And so far, you guys are approaching this pretty well. Mind you, just understand this is not something that is easy, right? This is my meetings are supposed to be kind of at a higher level, yet I'm still trying to make it still either relatable or kind of like at least easier to approach so that you guys can still work with this. Um, I try to delve away from the whole question answer type format where you guys are answering in a few sentences. But, so far though, like you guys are approaching this format pretty well. So, pretty good job. And Basu, you have your hand raised.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, yes. One thing is that I will say, I'll try a few ideas and thoughts. That's really amazing. But a person has to take care three parts, pace, page, and tone. That is very much important as far as I concerned. Like the professor, he suggested us, speak slowly, loudly, with a good pronunciations. And you also suggest us, because what I have observed in meeting, that is not for the normal level of the basic level of learners, for the intermediate level of learner. What I have seen that you always come with a different level of thoughts, ideas, and different level of topics I have ever felt. And what I have seen, a lot of changes. Sometimes you can say professor join in your meeting. Sometimes a person from UK, from USA. There are also, professor. Last couple of days, I think I met with a person. He was also from USA. His name is James. I don't know his full name, but his name was something like. Yes, I still remember. And he also gave us the golden suggestions. Pace, pitch, and tone. These are really much important. Your facial expression are really important. Your facial expressions. Okay. So the way Matt spoke, so that was really, I cry off with his speaking. And like professor, he's here. You are also here. So I don't think so. There was anything that we didn't effort. We effort as much as we could do. We did our best here. And now you just give us some feedback, and is really, you can say like the keynote for us, the roadmap for us. Amazing. I'm quite happy, just coming and being the part of such meetings. I had not ever thought. So thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, so for anybody else that's left, would you like to give this a crack and either you can pick something that's on the list, or you could pick two different things to compare and contrast. Would anybody like to go next? Hi, Fazle.
Hi, Sam. How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so can I have some word about the topics that you have given, like the public school versus private school? Actually, I was thinking about these.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So I can compare and contrast about these topics in respect of my country, that the difference of the public school and the private school. In the previous era, in my country, actually, I'm going to say about the topics in regarding of my country, what happened into mine. So public school, in the previous era, we always preferred to get our child admitted into the public school first. Since at the beginning, at the previous time, the students from the public school, they're doing good in comparing with the private school. So in context with that, so most of the parents, they are try to get admitted their student, their child into the into their public schools. So this is one of the reason that why they choose the public school first. And there is also some reason like the tuition fee and some different part of the fees are cheaper than the private school. So in the low income family, they are not getting the effort for giving the tuition fees on the other things. So these are the reasons. So they choose the public schools first. But what happened nowadays, the education systems, the education process, the teachers, they are not going into the school, the system. It might be happen for the government system, but the thing is that nowadays the private school, they are doing the best. So this is the contrast and compare of the public school and the private school. And I want to choose another one, that is the ebooks versus printed book.
Okay.
Ebooks is very good, because whenever you need something to know, whenever you need some information about particular things, you can choose anytime from the ebook. You can carry a lot of books into your pocket. But what happened into the printed books, from my point of view, is like there are some emotional attachment is missing with the ebooks. So in printed books, if you want to read for a long time, so you need an emotional attachment. So the emotional attachment is available into the printed books. But whenever you want to read a book, read a novel via the ebooks, maybe you might be distracted after some time. So this is all about.
Sounds good. Overall,
one more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
One more thing. The last speaker, Basu Dev, he also talked about the learning method. Also, I am a non-native speaker, so I'm working in speaking English. In our schooling system, we have been taught that there are a lot of method for learning English, for learning a language. But nowadays, I'm learning also a deep learning method, So there are a lot of differences, as we have been taught in our previous schooling system, that all the time we need to memorize the language. So, but whatever, we have been past 13 or 14 years in our schooling system, but nowadays what happened, we forgot everything. So definitely there are some learning method is important, like the deep learning method. Nowadays we are hearing for learning a language, you need to repetitions more and more. So definitely there are some differences between our schooling method system and nowadays the deep learning method system.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you bring up a good point about many differences that countries have when it comes to education. I'm simply reminded of the third year university student that was about to be expelled, kicked out of the university. And the professors gave him one more chance. And they said, you need to write a research paper and convince us that that paper is excellent so you can stay your fourth year. And he went on, this is many, many years ago, of course, he went on to do research on how to make an atom bomb. And the professors were shocked because before technology, we only had libraries, and you cannot get all the information in libraries. The point is, you can learn anything by reading. Now, what is going to get the student to read? They don't. They play games just to make a point. And because of that, they're not going to become knowledgeable about anything unless they dedicate their life to doing that one thing. And that's just the reality of education. Either you want it or you don't. Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, for you, Fazle, you kind of wanted to touch upon a whole bunch of different topics instead of just picking one. So you got a little greedy, but nonetheless, for your compare and contrast, I can see that there's what you're comparing, contrasting tends to side with one side over the other. Gets more into this realm of persuasion, which I think I want to make that as another topic, probably for another month, for because it'll fall along the lines of the language arts, right? But I think what you're doing there would be a nice segue to that next topic in the future. So to do basically a persuasive type of essay or format, right? So I like how you know, that's always something I always think I was already thinking about, but you're kind of touching upon this, so I think that would be a nice segue to move on to that at some point in the future, just to give you a heads up. Other than that, not bad overall. A little bit on the shorter side, but at least you were trying to drive your point for the most part because you were pushing it more towards a persuasive aspect for your compare and contrast. Cool. Okay. So we have at least a couple more people that have not gone yet. So would either you like to try, Colas or Nazmul? Or oh, actually, Basu, you have your hand raised. Would you like to speak?
Oh, yes. I would like to add here something. Yes, it is only the short. Okay, give me only 2 minutes to 3 minutes. That's it for me.
Okay.
So what I want to mention here, I read in the books. I read in the books where it has mentioned actually the point regarding electronic books. Okay, and printed books. So what is there? I'm gonna mention. I read it in the book
that has been mentioned here. You know, in 2157, it's a 2025, 2157, there will be no school, there will be no books. Okay. The students, they will study electronic books, and believe me, they will adjust reading books. Okay. There will be no fun, no entertainment, and they will miss today's education, today's printed book. And somehow, if they find the books, they'll call it as a real book. I find a real book. Maybe the pages will be turned out, maybe faded on the times, but they will always and always miss about today's printed book. There will be no feelings, in electronic books. There will be no feelings. They will not feel entertained or fun reading such books. As today we are reading, the printed books. We have passions reading books. We have entertainment reading books. But in 2157, there, students will feel existed reading books. So that's what I want to mention here. I actually have read somewhere. Like today I find a real book. And what is the name of the real book? Is a printed book. Is a printed book. Is called real book. Okay. They will never name the electronic books are real books. There will be no feelings. Will be reading such books. So that's it.
Okay. Sounds good. Your internet connection was kind of getting weird there, so like I had to like really.
Hope you will understand.
But yeah, I get
About
I get
printed
it for the
books.
most part. Just because like I was leaning in a little bit closer to try to
I
listen.
just pick out it from the books. Once I read it, and I thought to share with you all.
Sounds good. Yeah, like whenever you get a chance, please do share. Okay. So let's see. Oh, it looks like Colas jumped off, but like so Nazmo, would you like to have a chance to give it a try and compare and contrast something?
Yes, I want to talk to one topic, that's the urban and rural living. I think twice has little bit difference. The urban means people forget everything easily, but rural living is so hard to get easily technology or other things. So this points is very interesting point that the urban and rural living, the people living in a place and getting everything easily from urban and get to hard from rural living. I think that's the difference between urban and living.
Yeah.
If you are my child is reading in a school, I get there are many schools are available here, but if we live in village, it was very hard for me to find out there are many schools. So I think life is going rural living and easy life is urban life. That's enough.
Alrighty. Short and sweet. But I kind of get the idea of what you're trying to get at. Just how tough rural life could be in comparison to urban living. But okay, cool. All right. So we gave everybody a try with speaking. So from here, is there any go backs? Is there any particular thing that maybe you want to talk about extra, or is there any particular things that you would like to comment on regarding what happened in the call today?
Hello, sir.
Go
My
ahead.
kids want to talk with you. Just a minute.
You wear this.
Really.
Hi,
Oh, hi.
Hi,
how are you?
my name is Rai.
Hello, hi.
Your name is Rai?
Yes,
Hi, Rai. How old are you? Is that your child, Nazmul?
Yes, sir.
Oh, he sounds so cute.
My two child.
one
My two child.
second.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you,
Thank
sir,
you.
very much.
Okay.
So, can I have some word about, if you allow me to?
Yep, go ahead.
So this seems like a very interesting one. The topic from the educations, memorizing facts versus learning skills.
Yes.
So the last day, actually, I read out a paragraph about a book that is written by Dennis Letke, and the name of the book is The Big Pictures. So where I have learned that what is the real learning. So he said one of this, the real learning is not the memorizing knowledge. So what is the real learning? So real learning is knowing and understanding how to use it and how to integrate in your real life, how to integrate your real world. So this sentence is very much thoughtful for me, because in the book he also write down a sentence like that is what I say. Whenever a patient is taking his therapy, so he said that in this way, like a patient do not get relief between the therapy. A patient do not get the relief during the therapy, but between the therapies. So this is the very interesting quote. So I try to Google out into the chat that what is the meaning of this sentence. So the sentence is like, so real life, what will happen if we memorizing something, if we try to force our brain to remember something. So this is gonna happen in some cases, but actually in our real life doesn't mean anything. It doesn't effect into anything. So what is the real learning? What is the learning skill actually? So deep learning or the real learning is and you can implement into your real life. So in a sense, that is only the learning skill will help you to get the better success into your future. I am not able to make you understand because I don't know whether
That's okay.
I would like to bring one last point up from me.
Go ahead.
And people, I am not here to make you feel bad. I'm here to help you in my
Yes.
way. And again, you decide if you like it, do it. If you don't like it, don't do it. 10, a little story. You and everybody else is going for a job interview in whatever you want. I don't care. But you're going to make 3 times the amount of money because you are qualified on paper. You go to the interview and you sit down and there's 3 ladies, men, asking you questions. Now, when you go to the interview, you never know what else they are looking for. On paper, you're qualified. They ask you questions and you answer it. And they ask you more questions and you answer it. And then they say, we will call you in 1 week. You are walking downtown. You're walking on a sidewalk and you see one of the ladies that was interviewing you. And you say, hello, do you remember me? And she says, yes. And you say, I never got a phone call. What happened? She says, well, we were looking for someone that can speak using vocabulary and, of course, in English. You said, I did. She said, yes, you did. But you kept saying one word over and over and over and over during your talk. And we need someone who has more vocabulary. You say, what word did I say over and over and over? She said, that's easy. I can remember it. You said, actually, 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 in every other sentence. We need someone who has more transitional phrases, moreover, at the same time, equally as important, and more. You kept saying the same transitional phrase. We don't need you, and you didn't get 3 times the amount of money. And here, that's all I heard. Actually, 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 actually. Don't you know other words? Yes, but everybody in my country uses actually. Be different. Thank you. Excellent job, Tan. Excellent job.
Yeah, thank you. I like the point that Joe made, by the way. This is something just to expand upon, because I know that in some countries they put emphasis on the IELTS test. So there are certain people, when trying to study for it, they study for certain key phrases and just stick to it. It wouldn't be the words like actually, but it's the similar vein of the story, right? Where they just stick to that one type of transitional phrase and or adverbial phrase, instead of actually having a plethora of vocabulary to utilize, right? So this is a great point that Joe is making, and I would say I would wholeheartedly agree. So when you could start to build up upon more vocabulary and or what they call lexical resources, right? Then you'll find that you could do quite a bit more. Um, okay. Other than that, hi Lucy, long time no see. How have you been?
Hello. Hi
Today's
everyone.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. Thank you. How are
thank
you?
you. Well, I'm kind of a little bit sick at the moment. Kind of have a little bit
Yeah,
of
I
a
can
cough
tell.
with the changing of the seasons, but it's not too bad at the moment.
All right.
Yep. Today's topic is compare and contrast. So, the idea to this is um, using the
Hey,
format of compare.
somebody watch her. She's on the stairs.
Yep. So using the format of comparing and contrast, we have a list of topics that you can compare and contrast, or you could just pick two random things, or not two random things, but two things on your own that you can compare and contrast. And yeah, just speak in more of like a verbal essay format or a speech. So would you like to give it a try? I know that like you just jumped in, so it's not like you're that prepared or have
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. I have just seen ebooks and printed books, so it seemed nice.
okay.
I mean, I don't have a lot of ideas about that, but I think I have some because in general I like books, but there's some difference between the kind of ebooks and printed books. So I think nowadays ebooks is more convenient for people to abroad to or on their journey of reading, I guess, because first of all it's cheaper, I guess so. And second of all, with only one smart device, you can read a lot of things and find a lot of sources on internet. For example, just with one Kindle, you can bring it everywhere and read your favorite book everywhere, anywhere that you come. It's quite easy and convenient. It's let's talk about me because when I moved from Vietnam to here, I didn't bring any physical books because it's quite heavy. So I brought myself my own Kindle. So that's the second point. But on the other hand, I think a printed book is still, even though it's kind of traditional way of reading, but I think it's also good. Like for me, actually, I prefer printed books to ebooks because I like the feeling of holding a books in my hand and like maybe sit on in my favorite chair and enjoy the book by myself. And I also like to take notes sometimes if I want to. So I don't really want to keep my books clean. You know, it's maybe it's kind of messy, but I like to take notes sometime on my own book. Of course, if I borrow books from my friends, I will don't do I won't do it. But yeah, with my books, I like to maybe later on when I open that book again, I can see what I thought before and compare with what I'm thinking at that moment. Also, sometimes I like old book because I I used to go to some old books flea markets, and I sometimes I just love to read comments from other readers because I know what they thought. I can read what they want to share or what how do they feel about that book as well. So it's kind of cool. So yeah, sorry, I actually I don't use any. Do I need to use some preposition to show the contrast? To show the or no, like on the other hand or in contrast.
You could if you like. You don't have to stick strictly to that because at least you're you have a kind of a designation of talking about the ebook and then versus talking about the printed books. You could formalize it to say like on the one hand, blah 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 blah. On the other hand, blah blah blah. Or first of all, this and then, but then on the other side of things, that you know, you could use those transitional phrases if you like. You're not really held to that kind of standard. This is just at least just freestyling it. So because otherwise, if you were to have this prepared and then to speak it out, then most likely you would incorporate such verbiage or use of lexical resources. But you know, like how you went about it is fine. At least you had a distinction of on the one hand, you talked about ebooks, pros and cons. Then you talked about printed books, pros and cons, right?
Yes.
So other than that, like if you want to go into concluding this, then you know, feel free to do so.
Yeah, thank you. Maybe I will try to do it better next time.
That's fine. I'm not really sure when I'll revisit this topic again, but like I think this would be a topic I would probably revisit maybe a year or more so later. Who knows? I do kind of want to try out the other essay formats too at some point. So that's something I'm looking forward to at least in terms of future topics. Fazle was speaking earlier, and it kind of alluded to
Sir,
a possible future topic.
just a little bit question to Joe. Here, he several times he emphasized on the increasing vocabulary. But how we can improve our vocabulary? Usually we used our natural mother tongue. So have any technique how we could improve vocabulary?
You know, I can respond to that, Tan, unless you want to.
Well, let's let me save that for a little bit, right? So first of all, let's see. Yep, Matt, that's okay. Have a nice day, Matt. Or he already left. All right, so let me wrap this up first, right? So thank you for everybody for the topic. So I'm guessing we're going to just move on to the next portion of the call.
Words collide like fiddles hum, every accent's welcome some. Round the table, dreams are shared, across the world and love is aired. At the International English Cafe, talk your troubles right away, sip your tea, let stories play. At the International English Cafe, we don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy quarter lamp. Face to face we find a way, in a little cafe day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork lives with thread we weave, stories told when you believe. At the International English Cafe, words align like fiddles hum. At the International English Cafe, words collide like fiddles hum, every accent's welcome some. Round a table, dreams are shared, across the world and love is aired. Our love is aired, across the world and love is aired. Across the world and love is aired. English Cafe, we don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy quarter lamp. Face to face we find a way, in a trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. Here's your face, we find the way in a little cafe, day after day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork little cafe day. Maps and charts might trace the globe. We don't need no passport stamp, just a cozy corner lamp. Face to face we find the way in a little cafe, day after day. Maps and charts might trace the globe, but here we spin our own wardrobe. But here we spin our own wardrobe. Patchwork lives with thread we weave. Stories told